So I know today I said I was going to do a lighting video, or at least the next video would be a lighting video, and it's not going to be a lighting video. Basically, my tanks look like crap right now, and I would like to showcase some decent looking tanks while I'm showcasing lights. And the main reason for that is I want to, show what these lights can do. I have some cheaper, inexpensive LEDs, and I want to prove that they can also grow high-tech lights, or high-tech tanks. That and this tank right here, the 100 gallon, just got some new T5s, and I've got some rare plants on order, and I just turned CO2 back on, so I've got a lot going on in the fish room at the moment. But anyways, what we're gonna go ahead and do today is a water change, like kind of how I do my water changes video. Just to give some of those people out there who are building fish rooms or considering building fish rooms or just want easier water change system, an idea of, I guess how I do it. So if that's what you're interested in, stay tuned. After that, we'll do like a quick update and we'll look at a few of the tanks after we look at the water change setup that I have. Alright, so for the water change system, this is basically where we start. I have two of these in the fish room, and what these are basically draining stations, if you will. I have a lot of tanks plumbed directly into this. I have a hose that can reach other tanks that have been plumbed to connect to a hose, and this runs underneath my house and out into the backyard. Now I can do this because I have a pier and beam house. It basically means my house is on stilts and I have a good 2 foot under there, sometimes less, and I was able to crawl under there and just feed PVC. If you're on a concrete slab foundation, you won't be able to do this because you can't use gravity to draw the water outside for you. You can do something similar. I think what people normally do, I think Jason from Jadren Aquatics has videos because he's on a slab. I would recommend that you go check some of his videos out because he's done a very good job setting up his water change system. I think it's fairly similar to mine. I don't know if it's automatic yet, but he's got a nice one. So what you can do is grab like a big tote, put a sump pump in there with a float switch so that when the water gets to a certain level, that pump kicks on, and then you have to plumb that pump, the outgoing of that pump, wherever you want it to drain, whether it be a sink, a bathtub, a toilet, whatever you can find. You'll have to plumb it to something like that, or out your window, through a wall. Whatever you can think of. But yeah, this is one of my main stations, and I'll show you another one. So over here you can actually see a few of the 20 gallon tanks, and this is where I connect those hoses to. Now everything that is 20 gallons and up has one of these. If it's not directly plumbed into a drain like that, it'll have one of those, which is kind of the reason I'm going to be getting rid of all of my 10 gallons and moving up to 20s in the near future. And you can see over here we have these two 40s and a 100 gallon, both plumbed into that 3-inch PVC. And now that is at a constant decline, so when you're plumbing you want to make sure that your outgoing water constantly has a downhill route. So we'll go ahead and look at the end of that, and this is kind of behind my dehumidifier, but you can see we have 3-inch pipe, and that switches over to like 1 1/4 inch. The reason I did 3 inches is just so I had space for the hoses to go through. I do not have a 3-inch hole right down there. It switches to 1 1/4 inch. I have 1 1/4 inch hole, and you can see I have another 1 1/4 inch pipe right here, and I've left myself a place to, come on, I'm on the gimbal, sorry, a place to drain other tanks, and that also runs up over here. Kind of a weird job there, so I can drain this 75. So yeah. Alright, so that's how I drain my tanks. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. A little bit of work in the beginning, but since then it's just been turning a handle. So now I'll go ahead and I'll show you how I fill my tanks back up. Alright, and right here we have my 3-stage little carbon filter system. This is just in my shower right here, and that's just controlled by your shower controls, hot and cold. That is a little quick connect and goes over to here, and these get changed out about once a month. And that costs around $15 to $20, just depending on where I get my carbon blocks from. But anyways, we go through a 0.5 micron filter here, and then 2 carbon blocks. Now, I'm on chloramine, so these do not treat my water. I still have to dose prime. but they are kind of like a good safety net if there's anything else in there that the carbon can remove. Carbon doesn't remove everything, but if there is anything that the carbon can remove, maybe a pesticide or something that I just don't want, it's there as kind of a safety measure. So 2 carbon blocks and a micron get changed once a month. These cost, each one of these little canisters cost me about $20 at Lowe's. So it was not expensive to set up. And then we just go down over to here to a quick connect if for whatever reason I want to change it. I don't have to undo plumbing. And we go down to here. And now this is about, what? 60 foot of hose, maybe more, maybe less. And then this is just my control valve. This was a Python. It broke and I just replaced it with a brass 3/4 inch valve. So that's been doing the job. And I don't know what my flow rate through here is, but you know, this does reduce your flow rate. So this will slow the rate of flow of the water coming out. But anyways, that is my filtration system. All right, so I've got their tank drained a little bit more than I wanted to, as you can kind of see. I'm draining the tank under them now, and while that's draining, I can go ahead and fill this one up, and I can even drain some other tanks while I'm doing this, which is what I normally do. I'll normally drain 3 or 4 tanks at a time while I'm filling one up, and they can kind of drain faster, so I kind of selectively pick, you know, which tanks I'm going to drain while filling ones up. If I drain a big tank while I'm filling up small tanks, normally I'm pretty good and I won't run into issues where I've got a half drain tank for 20 minutes. But anyways, we're gonna get our water to temp, get it carried over here, and start filling these tanks up. Alright, so anyways, that's it for the water change video. I'll try and get out the lighting one as soon as possible. It might be a few weeks out. I procrastinate if you haven't figured it out by now. This video was supposed to be out like a year ago or something. But yeah, you know, you get caught up in the fish room and stuff happens. So anyways, working on the tanks. As soon as they get looking good, the lighting video will probably come out. You know, I'm not going to be changing up too much more. In lighting, possibly I will be getting some more DIY LEDs. I got that from a customer's brother who is an electrical engineer. Hopefully I can kind of pull that apart and even show it to you guys, because I've already looked at it and it is very simple. It is something that could be easily replicated, and if I could work with him to find an LED that costs like $100 and maybe 4 hours to make, that is up to, you know, spec with like a fluval, possibly better, because I mean really if you just want it to be better, just add more power in higher wattage, you know, diodes, LEDs, and you have a stronger LED. So it's pretty beautiful to think of that. It's cheap and powerful lighting. But anyways, that's it. I'm rambling. I will see you guys on the next video, whether that's an update or the lighting video. I'm not quite sure at this point. I've been really busy tearing down 10 gallons and putting 20s up in their place. So anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you would like to, if there's anything you saw in the video that you would like. I do have a website that you can check out. That is wildworldaquatics.com. Shipping to anywhere in the US, Alaska, Hawaii. Haven't shipped to Hawaii yet, did ship to Alaska, but I will ship to you gladly if you live in Hawaii. So anyways, that's it for the vid. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you want to know where I got this little thing right here, I'll put a link in the description below. It's very helpful. This one is kind of quiet. They're normally a little bit louder than this. They take, well, I can't get it off because it's a really tight fit. They take 2 AAA batteries. They're kind of waterproof in that I've dropped them in the water and they seem to still work. But yeah, they get kind of quiet after you drop them in the water 1 or 2 times. So Yeah, but they're definitely nice to have. You can walk away from a tank if it's like a 20-gallon or something. You can walk away and do something else for a little bit. 20-gallon or bigger. They're really helpful for 125s and 75s, as long as you don't forget with the really big tanks, because it doesn't help when you just leave and drive off somewhere, because your 125 was taking more than 15 minutes to fill up. But yeah, they're helpful.